Welcome, everyone. Today we're going to explore cooperative learning, a powerful teaching strategy that puts students at the center of their own learning. Whether you're brand new to teaching or just looking for fresh approaches, this guide will walk you through what cooperative learning is, why it works, and how you can start using it in your classroom right away. Think of it as moving from teacher talks, students listen, to students learn together, teacher guides. By the end, you'll have practical tips and real examples you can try tomorrow. Let's dive in. So what exactly is cooperative learning? At its core, it's when students work in small groups toward a shared goal. But it's not just group work. Two things make it special. First, positive interdependence. Students genuinely need each other to succeed. For example, in a jigsaw activity, each student researches a different piece of a topic, so the group can't complete the puzzle without everyone's contribution. Second, individual accountability. Every student must demonstrate their own understanding. No hiding behind a partner. You might have each student submit their own reflection after the group activity. These two pillars ensure that everyone is both supported and responsible. Let's look at 3 key features that make cooperative learning effective. First, heterogeneous grouping. You intentionally mix students of different skill levels, backgrounds, and strengths. For instance, pairing a strong reader with a creative thinker and a detail-oriented student gives the group a richer experience. Second, interdependence and accountability work hand in hand. You design activities so every member's piece matters, like assigning each person a section of a research project that the group assembles together. Third, your role shifts from lecturer to facilitator. Instead of standing at the front delivering content, you're circulating, asking guiding questions, and stepping in only when groups get stuck. It's a big shift, but incredibly rewarding. Now, one of the secrets to great cooperative learning is assigning clear roles. Here are 4 common ones. The recorder writes down the group's ideas and decisions. Think of them as the group's memory. The timekeeper watches the clock and keeps everyone on pace, saying things like, "We have 5 minutes left, let's wrap up our discussion." The researcher is the one digging for information, looking up facts in a textbook or finding data online. And the presenter shares the group's final work with the class. For example, in a history activity, the researcher finds key dates, the recorder organizes a timeline, the timekeeper keeps phases on track, and the presenter explains the timeline to classmates. Roles rotate, so every student builds different skills over time. Let's see this in action with a real classroom example. Imagine a science lesson on plant growth. You divide students into groups of 4 and assign roles. The researcher looks up what plants need to grow: sunlight, water, soil nutrients. The recorder documents the group's observations as they set up a simple experiment with different watering amounts. The timekeeper makes sure each phase of the experiment stays on schedule: planting day, first check-in, final measurement. And the presenter prepares a short summary to share results with the class. Notice how no one can sit back. Every role is essential to completing the project. This is exactly the kind of structured activity that makes cooperative learning so much more effective than simply saying, "Get into groups and figure it out." So why bother with all this structure? Because the benefits are significant. First, communication and teamwork. Students practice real-world skills like listening actively, explaining their thinking, and resolving disagreements. For example, when 2 students disagree on an answer, they learn to negotiate rather than argue. Second, deeper understanding. Research shows that when students teach concepts to peers, they retain the material far better than just listening to a lecture. It's the learning by teaching effect. Third, a more supportive classroom climate. Students build trust and friendships across social groups they might not normally interact with. You'll notice quieter students gaining confidence and stronger students developing patience and empathy. These aren't just nice extras, they're foundational life skills. Here are 4 practical tips to help you get started. First, start small. Don't launch a week-long group project on day 1. Try a simple think, pair, share. Pose a question, give students a minute to think, then have them discuss with a partner. It takes 2 minutes and builds the habit. Second, assign clear roles right from the start. Even in pair work, one person can be the note-taker and the other the reporter. This prevents the classic problem of one student doing all the work. Third, set ground rules together. Have students help create norms like listen before responding and everyone speaks at least once. When students own the rules, they follow them. Fourth, always reflect afterward. A quick 2-minute debrief. What went well? What would you change? Helps groups improve every time. I'll leave you with this wonderful quote from Helen Keller. Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much. That really captures the heart of cooperative learning. It's not about making your job easier. It's about creating a classroom where every student has a voice, a role, and a reason to engage. Start with one small activity this week. Maybe a think, pair, share in your next lesson. You'll be surprised how quickly students take to it. Thank you so much for your time today, and I'm happy to answer any questions.